Why are you here? Leonard?
Why am I here? Well, I suppose I'm here to make friends with you. And your dads. Maybe catch some more grasshoppers.
This is Scotty and Andrew, and you're listening to Fun with Horror.
And go. 3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm Andrew.
Take 2.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Hello, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Scotty.
And welcome to episode 82 of Fun with Horror, the movie review podcast in which we give each other horror movies to watch, then we discuss them the following episode.
We only have 2 rules here at Fun with Horror. I forgot that we do this differently now.
We mix it. It's a little
mix it
different.
up. But we do have 2 rules. Number 1, whoever picks the movie has to pick a movie they've never seen. And number 2, we both have to watch the movie before we discuss it.
This is true. And last week was me. I got to pick, or last time. And I chose the new M. Night Shyamalan directed movie, Knock at the Cabin, which stars, and I'm going to go to IMDb. I didn't write everyone's name down because they all, I believe, deserve to have their names said.
It's just Dave Bautista.
It's just Dave Bautista. That's it. He's the only one. And also there's Jonathan Groff and Ben Aldridge, Nikki Amuka Bird, Rupert Grint, Abby Quinn, and Kristen Cui. That's all of them. Or that's the main 6, I should say. But I just wanted to say all
you
their
got
names.
them, right? You got
I think so.
The main 7.
Or 7. You're right. Gosh, yeah, 7. It was 7. 7.
And of course, stay tuned to the end of this episode, and where you and the audience, and you, Andrew,
me,
will all get to hear what I'm picking for our next movie.
Yay! Hi, buddy.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, we're filming. Yep. See where we're at
filming
today? Yep, we're filming.
What today? You've never stopped since the first episode.
You're right.
Go back to the first episode, and Andrew, hear Andrew going, "Yeah, well, when we film."
I think for a good while there, I was doing it right. I said record, and then I don't know, probably when Enzo was born, and I just lost all sleep.
Doing heroin again.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's probably when it started. And I said, we're filming, and this has all been in my brain. So
yes.
None of this is real.
So what's been going on, buddy?
Well, I was going to tell you, lots. We got sick at our house. Unfortunately, I have the COVID right now.
Oh, you do?
I do. I have COVID.
Oh, I knew you were sick. I didn't.
Oh yeah, I got it.
You actually were
I tested
positive.
And I got both lines. So it's
well. You sound much better than I did when we recorded our Nope podcast.
Well, I don't know. I feel nasally still, and I feel a little. Bleh,
you don't sound like it.
Oh, right on. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
I definitely sound like it. You sound normal right now.
Well,
and I'm not just saying that as your friend. You absolutely. If I didn't know,
yeah.
Like when you got on today, when you got on the Zoom, I was like, oh, you're better, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do feel better. I still have a little tickle in my congestion, but I got the COVID. But because of that, we watched a good chunk of movies, Kylie and I. And I was gonna tell you about them.
Yeah, please.
It's horror related, man.
Yay.
So we watched Ready or Not. Which, yeah, dude. I love that movie. I think that movie's. Have you seen Ready or Not?
Yes.
Okay, it's just a fun movie, man. So we watched that one. She really liked that.
Okay, good.
And she had recently we had watched Scream 6 because she was like, I want to see.
You mean Scream 5?
Or I'm sorry, Scream 5. Scream 5. Scream 5. Scream
Wow,
6
you
is
already
coming
saw
out.
it? Amazing.
Yeah. We're really good at that. We snuck in. No, no, Scream 5 she had seen because she loves Jenna Ortega. And
Don't we all?
Yeah, we all do. She's great. But I was like, do you want to watch the older like Screams first? And she's like, I don't know. And I said, all right, I'll just watch Scream. So we did that. She loved it. And I was like, well, do you want to try Scream 4? Because it's kind of newer-ish, you know? And she's like, yeah. So we watched that one. I go, do you want to watch the older ones?
You want to
She's
go to
like,
Scream 3?
yeah, no. And then we did the first one, and she loved it. And I was like, yes, finally a 90s movie that she's not like, this is so old. Ugh. But so we watched that. And then the other one we watched, what she really liked, was Host.
Oh,
I know. I love Host.
a little 1 hour one.
Yeah, just an hour. It was perfect. It was right before bed. She's like, it was like an hour before bed, and we started it.
But now let's go back to Scream. So she's seen 1, 4, and 5, but she hasn't seen 2 and 3.
Right. Those are our next ones. We're gonna start those.
Awesome.
Soon.
And then she will have seen them all, and then she's ready for Scream 6.
Yep, exactly.
Wow,
So,
dude, that's amazing. That's a lot
I
of
know.
movies.
It was a lot, but when you're sick and you got time,
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. How are you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm fine. I'm good. I've just been watching Oscar. The Oscars are this weekend because we're recording before the Oscars.
That's right.
So I just see every year, this is non-horror related, but every year when they announce Best Picture nominees, I always say to myself, I want to see all of them before the Oscars.
Yeah. Yeah.
It never happens. But this year, due to having seen the only movie that's not available on streaming or video on demand right now is Avatar 2. And
right. Okay.
Luckily I saw that in theaters.
Nice.
And so I've now seen everything, and I saw The Whale also. And,
nice.
That's
Look at you, buddy. Look at you.
And I think every movie that was nominated for Best Picture is fantastic.
Awesome. That's
Although I think The Whale should have been nominated for Best Picture instead of 1 or 2 of the other ones.
Fair. All right. That's fair.
So
nice.
Real quick, you did not hear that, right?
No, I didn't hear anything.
Okay, because somebody knocked.
Oh, okay.
At the door.
Oh.
Of the cabin.
Stop it.
Hi there. Can I talk to you for a little bit?
You have to come inside right now. There were 4 of them.
What did we say? You shouldn't make things up when we're talking about...
Can you open the door, please?
They're breaking in! I'll cut you, baby.
We're not here to hurt you, but you have to stay here in the cabin with us. Families throughout history have been chosen to make this decision. Your family must choose to willingly sacrifice one of the 3 of you to prevent the apocalypse.
We're not sacrificing anyone.
For every no you give us, hundreds of thousands of people are going to die.
Okay, so before we talk about Knock at the Cabin, this is your spoiler warning, but this is kind of a dual spoiler warning because we are going to spoil the movie Knock at the Cabin, but we're also going to talk some spoilers for the book by Paul Tremblay that the movie is based on, which is called The Cabin at the End of the World. Nice. However, before we talk, we're not going to talk about the book for a while, and I will be sure to give plenty of warning to everybody listening that we're about to spoil the book, so that if you want to read the book still, and you don't want the differences between the movie and the book spoiled, you can stop listening then. But until that, we're just going to talk about the movie, and we're not going to talk about the big differences or anything. But Andrew has told me that he doesn't mind knowing the differences between the movie and the book. So
correct.
It's definitely something I want to talk about.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about the differences, actually.
Well, I'm excited to hear about your, like, seriously excited to hear your impressions of the movie.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
As somebody who has never read the book
Right.
and who just went into this movie, I'm very curious about a few things. So,
Okay. Yeah.
and overall what you thought. But first,
Oh, gosh.
Andrew,
Yeah.
you have 3 minutes or less to tell us the story and the plot of this movie. Go for it.
Oh boy.
I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime.
All right. Well, we're at a cabin in the woods, and we have a family of three: Eric, Andrew, and their daughter, Wen. And this group of four shows up and knocks at the cabin and say they need to come in and talk with them. They say, nope, you need to leave, but they eventually break in, have a little scuffle, and Eric actually falls down and hits his head and gets a concussion. This group ties up the two men, Andrew and Eric, and then Wen is there. And they tell them, essentially in a nutshell, you have to pick one of your family members to die, and you have to kill them, or the apocalypse is going to happen. So after that, they say, no, of course not. And what happens is these four have brought weapons of their own. They actually put one person on the ground and kill one of the four. And after that, they say, now one of the four plagues is going to go through the earth. The first one, so they kill the first guy, they turn the TV on and show the family, and we see tidal waves going over cities, knocking them out. And they say, okay, throughout this, we get another time where they say you have to choose. Do you want to choose one of your family members, kill them, or should we unleash the second plague? So, of course, the second girl gets killed. They turn the TV back on, and this time we see, totally drawn a blank on what the second one is.
The sickness.
Thank you. Yes, the sickness. Yep, we see a bunch of kids, especially, getting sick. At some point, though, they have another little scuffle. Andrew runs out to his car to grab his gun. He shoots at one of the four who runs away. Eventually, he goes inside, and the one that ran away runs at him. He shoots her. The third plague is then unleashed, which is all the planes in the sky start falling down and crashing. Eventually, there's just the final member left, and he says, let's go outside. He takes a knife to his throat, kills himself, but before he does that, he says, you'll have a few minutes left if you want to end all this. You need to kill one of your family members. He kills himself, and we see lightning and fire starting to hit the earth. Eric and Andrew are madly in love and do not want one of them to die. However, Eric, at one point after his concussion, saw a bright light and realizes all of this is actually true and asks Andrew to kill him. We don't see it, but we do hear a gunshot. Andrew does end Eric's life. The two survivors, Andrew and his daughter Wen, decide to go at the end to a little cafe where they see that all these atrocities have just stopped right the moment that they finally ended things. And it ends with those two driving away. A very sad ending, but one that saved the entire world. So there you go. There's plenty more we're going to talk about, but that's the movie in a nutshell.
That was great.
Thanks, man.
That was
Thanks,
great,
buddy.
man.
Thank you.
So, what did you think of Knock at the Cabin, Andrew?
So
First of all,
yeah.
Let's just get a little background with you. What's your favorite Shyamalan movie?
Sixth Sense.
Okay.
Sixth Sense will always be my favorite.
I think we've mentioned that before, but mine, I think after some debate, is Signs. I'm pretty sure Signs is my favorite.
Very good. I'm gonna jump into Sixth Sense is great, but I'm also gonna put Split on there.
There you go.
I love
there
Split.
You go.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what did you think of Knock at the Cabin? That said.
So I went and Kylie and I saw this in theaters. This is what she picked for a father-daughter day. And I didn't know really what to expect. I hadn't really seen any trailers. I'd seen a few clips maybe, or I don't even remember. So I went in pretty blind with this movie, which I'm grateful for. And I walked out of it loving it. I think this is a great movie. I loved it. I watched it twice. I loved it. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about it.
You finished it the second time?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah, I wanted to. I was excited to watch it again with my wife, with Cindy.
Awesome.
What did you think, though, since as someone that's read it as well? I'm quite curious.
Well, yeah. So again, I'm going to try my hardest not to judge the movie.
Mm.
First of all, not based on the differences between the book,
Right.
but having also watched the movie twice now,
Mm-hmm.
I really liked the movie too.
Nice.
I thought
Okay.
it was very well done. I thought it was one of Shyamalan's best movies.
Yeah, I would not argue that.
Yeah. Everything. There's so much that's so well done in this movie. The first time I saw it, I was kind of wrestling with the idea that maybe the movie moved things along a little bit too quickly.
Okay.
Like I thought maybe it could have been just a tiny bit longer to let things breathe a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Okay.
the second time I didn't really feel that.
Yeah.
I thought
I don't think I
thought it
did.
was fine.
Yeah, I thought the pace, for me anyway, I thought the pacing was pretty good. It kept me interested the whole time. So
Well, again, it's a product of me having read the book
right.
because
Yeah.
the book
Yep.
is, it's a quick read. It's not a long book.
Right.
And it moves at a good pace, but at the same time, the book feels like it breathes a little bit more.
Okay.
So the
that.
movie is like, the book it takes me a few days to read. The movie takes me an hour and 44 minutes or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah. I get that. I get that. I totally get that.
So let's get into this movie, Andrew.
Yes.
I'm just gonna jump to some questions that I wanted to ask you.
Okay. All right.
My main question, and I've asked another friend this question because it's very interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it again, like I said, a lot of my stuff is going to have to do with the book, but I'm not gonna talk about spoilers of the book until later.
Yeah.
But my first question is, how did you believe, so that we got Leonard, Adrienne, Sabrina, and Redmond. Those are the four that come to the cabin.
Right.
Andrew and Eric are a gay couple who have adopted
Wynn.
Wynn, a young Asian girl.
Mm-hmm.
So Leonard shows up and Wynn is outside catching grasshoppers.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a conversation, which is awesome.
Yes. It's a great scene.
And then they all break in, and as you said, Leonard tells them that the three of them, Eric, Andrew, or Wynn, they have to decide that one of them is going to die. Right. And they have to make this decision together and be good with it. And then they have to kill that person to end the apocalypse.
Jeez.
So did you believe Leonard?
I went back and forth at first. Because Andrew throughout kind of makes it, he has some good points in the movie anyway, where he's like, this is pre-recorded stuff. Like, this is all, and then you get a little bit of history, especially with Redmond, excuse me, being the homophobic person he is that actually hit Andrew over the head, years prior. But I think my initial overall was yes. And actually pretty right when we see the four of them, maybe 5 minutes after, in my head, I didn't say it to Kylie, but I was like, oh, the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Like, that was my initial thought. So I went, it's gotta be it. And then of course, like, I didn't remember the colors, but I went and looked in Revelation or like what it was, and it's red, black, white, and pale, which isn't a color, but and they're all wearing those colors. Yeah, yellow. So I was like, but yeah, about 5 minutes after they were talking, I was like, there's four of them, and I went, oh, got it, four horsemen. So then I believed that it was them.
You son of a bee.
Yeah,
because I didn't. That's one thing. My own little denseness, I guess. I don't know if it's that the Bible better than I do. But I did not make the connection. And until the movie Eric.
Eric at the end says it.
Spells it out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh. And of course I felt a little stupid later because I was like, of course they're the four horsemen.
Right. No, but I mean they played it well where you wouldn't necessarily think that. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I don't know why it came to my mind, but I think I just went, Apocalypse 4, and then it clicked like, oh, 4 horsemen, Apocalypse, got it. But they didn't spell it out until the very end. So I get it.
Yeah, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's like once you see it, it's kind of obvious, it's like, yeah.
Makes sense, yeah.
Even though the plagues that they spread weren't exactly equal to who they
Right.
represented in
Right.
Revelations,
Yeah.
because Redmond red is supposed to be war,
Right.
and that's flooding is what happened in the movie.
Right. Yeah.
And then who was next? Adrienne? Yeah, Adrienne was black, and that's famine, right?
Yes. Yeah. That was the sickness.
So that one
Yeah.
kind of matched up a little
That one
bit.
worked. Mhm.
Plague, pestilence, whatever.
Right.
And then the pale horse. Well, no. What's the pale horse? That one I forget. I read it and now I forget.
I can't remember either, man. I always get them mixed up. I don't remember.
And then I know the last one is death.
Right.
Excuse me. So sorry. Yeah, the white horse. That's death.
Right. Which was that final.
No. The black is death. Sorry. The black one
I
is
honestly
death.
can't remember.
Yeah, the pale horse is death. I don't know.
I don't know. I did wonder though at the beginning when they're looking at the grasshoppers, because I didn't know, with like in the Bible again, there's in Exodus there's the plagues that come, and one of them is all the grasshoppers and stuff, and I was like, I wonder if that's like a shout out or a tie into that. I don't know, but I thought it was interesting that she was catching grasshoppers and we're talking plagues. So
right.
Yeah,
I'm trying to look this up, and of course it's just like a long ass thing. So yeah.
We're still here.
We are still here.
We're still here. I'm looking too. I'm just kind of curious. Let's see.
Okay, so yeah, the pale horse is death. The black horse is famine. The red horse is war, and the white horse is conquest.
Oh, okay.
So
interesting.
Anyway,
I mean, yeah.
Anyway.
Well, and what I kind of like about that though is like, this idea of these 4 people coming and doing this has been going on for, it seems like, generations, or the way they make it sound is like this has probably happened many times before where different families have had to do that. So I think I like the idea of like maybe those 4, way back in the day were those 4 sicknesses, but they changed along the way. I don't know.
Well, and also Eric mentions that they're kind of like the opposite. They're, instead of being harbingers of bad things, they're kind of like angels.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Right. And because he mentions their professions and
right,
how like Sabrina is a healthcare person and stuff like that. All that
teacher
stuff.
And guidance and yeah.
Leonard is guidance, and I'm like, that's not a horseman.
But I liked that idea. I liked that it was like, hey, these are reasons we should save the human race, as there's people that are doing these good things.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't literal. And
no.
And I can say it wasn't literal in the book either. So
okay.
And I'm going to say this right now. The movie surprisingly adapted the book very closely to a point.
Oh, okay.
To a point. But and I'm talking dialogue and everything.
Whoa. Okay.
Our friend Stanley. Hi, Stanley.
Hi, Stanley.
He mentioned in his video review that he just released on YouTube that Shyamalan said this was the quickest screenplay he's ever written.
Whoa.
And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, yeah, because you basically just wrote the book.
Right.
He just
photocopied
like, all
some
the dialogue is exact.
Wow. That's cool though. I like that. It was.
I do too, but like, don't take, see, right, I'm just going to say this right now.
Go for it, dude. Do it.
Because my gripe here is not with the movie. It was the marketing of this movie, where, except for one tweet that I saw, Shyamalan took out all mention of Paul Tremblay and his novel.
That's
It's
weird.
not in the it's not in the posters, it's not in the trailers. And even in the posters, it says screenplay by M. Night Shyamalan and 2 other people. And I'm like, dude, you can't just put based on the book,
Right.
The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay, which is an amazing book.
Right. Credit where credit's due, man. Come on.
Yeah. And I haven't seen any posters afterwards that credit Paul. And it just kind of irks me because like the excuse I gave to Shyamalan, which I haven't heard anything opposing or confirming this, but the excuse that I gave Shyamalan was that maybe he didn't want people to read the book and have the movie spoiled.
Right. Yeah.
Which is a take. It's an interesting take, but I could kind of understand that, knowing that Shyamalan likes to surprise people and. But at the same time, like, yeah, I mean, I just reading that book was an amazing experience, and it's one of the better horror novels that I've read in a long time.
Nice, dude.
So yeah, when I heard that this movie was coming out and that it was based on, like, nothing was saying that this movie was based on The Cabin at the End of the World, and the first trailer came out. And anybody who read the book saw that trailer. Like, even I watched the trailer because I wanted to see, is this really based on that book? And I watched the trailer. I'm like, oh my God, this is that book.
Okay. Yeah.
So I got really excited, but yeah, I mean,
Still,
the dialogue,
that's weird.
it is weird and it irks me. Like,
I get it. No, I'm with you.
that's why I'm going to promote Paul.
Yeah,
Tremblay
please.
as much as I can with this podcast.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and he did like a tweet, which was pretty cool.
He did. Hey, Paul, if you're listening, we love you.
Yes, you're awesome. I will read your book.
Yeah, well, he's got a new book called The Pallbearers Club that after I'm done reading the book I'm reading right now, it's next up on my list. So
sweet. All right.
Looking forward to reading that. But anyway, my next question, since you got the whole 4 horsemen thing, did you get the fact that the 4 of them plus Eric, Andrew, and Wynn made up 7?
Like the deadly sins?
No, like the seven signs of the apocalypse, the 7 seals being broken.
Oh, I did not catch that, dude.
Yeah.
Good call.
Did you get that when Leonard knocked at the door, he knocked 7 times?
I did not catch that. Wow, dude. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Wait, did you catch that, or was that in the book?
It was in the book.
Oh, okay. I was like, dang, I was not sitting there going like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
But as you know, I saw the movie in theaters.
Yeah.
And then I read the book in like 3 days.
Nice.
And then I rewatched the movie. But when I rewatched, because when I read the book and it mentioned that there were 7 knocks at the door, I was like, wait a second. Did they do that in the movie? And then sure enough, it's like, it's very purposeful. There's 7 knocks.
That's cool. Oh man, I did not catch that. That's awesome.
Okay.
I love that. I love that. That's so cool.
So let's I don't know, man. What do you want to talk about? I mean,
I have
much
lots.
was good.
I mean,
yeah, tell me.
I think, well, I mean, you know me. I love acting, so I'll jump into that first.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hop on IMDb again here real quick and make sure.
His name is Dave Bautista.
Is he? I feel like.
Has he been in something?
Is he the Hulk?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. No, Dave. No, I love the cast. I thought everyone was.
Wait, everybody, we know that Dave Bautista was not the Hulk.
Yeah,
that was a joke.
He's Drax. We know.
Yeah.
we're kidding. I will say though, immediately when we see when I was like, this might be the most adorable child I've ever seen in my life. She was so stinking cute when she's talking to Dave, and I was like, oh my gosh,
man, she was beyond cute. Like she was amazing.
She was. No, absolutely.
2 people especially stood out to me. Well, everybody stood out, man.
I definitely have. They all did, but I have one for sure that stood out.
Well, Dave Bautista stood out to me because, in my opinion, this is maybe the best movie I've seen him in, or the
I would
best
agree.
performance.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Absolutely.
There were subtle nuances that, it's easy for him to just be in his tough guy Dave Bautista
Right.
role. Like Drax is also like his best role for me because it's kind of different, and he just has this level of humor that is amazing.
It works. Yeah.
But this, he just had these subtle nuances and this nervousness that
Mhm.
totally made me buy Leonard.
Yep. And I liked him. Like that was the thing, is like they're doing crazy things, but I was like, I really like. I even thought this. I was like, I feel safe with Leonard, which you shouldn't. Like you're like, but I mean, he was so nice, and he was like, he didn't want to do this. Like he just, I don't know. I agree. He played it really well. I loved it.
Okay, so he stood out. Kristen Cui as Wynn stood out huge.
Yeah.
Especially when I started watching her the second time I watched the movie. Like just watching her performance.
Mm-hmm.
There were just so many moments that I was just blown away by a child actor.
Yeah, dude.
And let's just go back to The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, please.
I will say this about Shyamalan. He knows how to direct children.
I 100% agree. Absolutely.
I mean, it's partly maybe he knows he's good at casting children. He knows by auditions when a child can act and put forth what he needs.
Yeah. Even signs. I mean, every one of them, he knows what he's doing.
Yes.
Abigail Breslin, man. Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
He gets it.
And Little Culkin.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Both of
yes.
them. Yeah.
Oh
Both
my
of them in
gosh.
that movie were excellent.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. Funny thing, I actually watched Signs the same day I went to the theater and saw Knock at the Cabin.
Did you?
Yeah.
Dude, I love that movie. It's so good.
Come on. But yeah, she, like, just the moments when, because you need to buy the idea that this little girl is kind of charmed a little bit by Leonard, enough that she's a little bit weary of him, but also instantly feels some kind of a trust in him.
Right. Yep. And that first scene plays that beautifully.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Yeah, I love that opening scene. Sets up that whole movie in the best way. I remember right when she runs towards the cabin, I turned to Kyle and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be good." That scene was perfect.
You talked in the movie theater
for 1 second, and then I was quiet.
Damn it, Andrew.
It was just us. No, there was two other people.
Did you pull out your phone and text it to Cindy too?
I did. I actually recorded the whole movie as well on my phone.
This is why we don't cover theatrical releases.
That's right. I get kicked out of theaters.
All right. So who else? Who are you thinking of?
The one that stood out to me, again, like we said, everyone in this is
I think I know who you're going to say, but go ahead.
Nikki Amuka Bird.
Oh, no. I mean, yes.
Like I said, everyone is great, but there's the scene when each of them start kind of giving their backstories before, and when they first get there, and she starts talking about how she's like, I spent like my entire savings just to get here. And the way she's doing it, she's nervous, she's uncomfortable, she's scared. It's like every emotion that anyone in this position would have shows on her face. And that scene is awesome. It's like one of my favorite scenes, and she killed it. So I think she's great in the whole thing. But that scene, I was just like, good Lord. Like I hope to see much more of her because she's fantastic.
Absolutely. I thought you were going to say Jonathan Groff.
I do like Jonathan Groff.
Yeah.
He's great. I love him.
I mean, yeah,
I've always loved him. Yeah.
That's the thing. He was great in this movie, but he's great in everything.
He's great. He's the king, man. Literally.
Yeah, literally. But he was also, I mean, if you're going to replace Hugo Weaving as Agent Smith with anybody in the Matrix,
right?
Replace you haven't seen it yet, have you?
I haven't, but I do know that I knew that he was the replacement.
So good.
Nice. Okay, I do need to see that still, man.
See, that's another reason for you to see it.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway.
yeah, he's always great. I love Jonathan Groff. He's the best.
But this is not fun with science fiction. This is fun with horror. Obviously, wait, I had it up too. Sorry, Ben Aldridge.
It was awesome.
Amazing as Andrew.
Yep.
Played that part great. And then Abby Quinn.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
But
she was great too.
But then, man, Rupert Grint. Ron Weasley himself.
Right. I know. And when he shows up, I was like, here we go. And then he's like pretty quick to die. And I was like, whoa, I was not expecting him to go so quick. We get a couple little flashbacks, but even that was like, it totally caught me off guard.
Have you seen any of Servant?
No, I've wanted to. And that's a Shyamalan show, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the thing I'm thinking here is that I haven't really, I know he's been in other things.
Right.
Since Harry Potter.
Right.
But I haven't really seen him in much.
True. Yeah.
I think there was one thing I think I saw him in. I can't even remember what it was. But yeah, he was really good.
He was really good.
In the small part that he had.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
He did a really good American accent.
Yeah. And he played that part well. Kind of that, jerk piece of crap.
But also he was a jerk for another reason. Like there was a couple layers to that, which was very cool watching it the second time, because you realize that partly the way he's acting is because he knows that he's going to die.
Right.
He knows full well. I think he knows deep inside and that they're not going to make the decision. Especially right away.
Exactly. Yep.
Because they have to see the proof on the TV and stuff. So now here's a question.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the best facets of home invasion movies is being scared for the people that live there.
Yeah, very good.
After they killed Redmond, how scared were you for Eric, Andrew, and Wynn?
Not at all, actually. Not at all. Because, again, I think Bautista's performance as Leonard really, I mean, he's honest. Everything he's talking about is true. And so I was like, okay, they're really not going to hurt these three. They're fine. I mean, they're not, but sorry, I just bonked that. But so, yeah, I wasn't scared for them at all. I thought they would be safe, obviously, until they couldn't be, until one of them had to die. But
because obviously I know how most of the movie is going to play out, how the story is. So it's very interesting to me to hear what your thoughts were during different parts of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. At first you worry for them, but then once they kill Redmond, you're like, oh, okay, they're not going to hurt them. They're just here to do what they got to do.
That's so interesting that you felt that.
Yeah.
That you felt that, like, oh, they're definitely not going to hurt them. And because of Dave Bautista.
Yeah. I mean, I believed him.
He's a big teddy bear.
He is a big teddy bear. Gosh. Do you remember the first time you read it at all? Did you worry about them?
We'll get into the book in a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll get into the differences, but this is why I am asking you these questions.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
What did you think? What did you think about how the movie ended? And what did you expect? What did you think was going to happen? And then what did you feel about how the movie ended?
So I figured that the way it seemed to be building, I knew that all four were going to die. I had that pretty figured out. But I didn't know until Leonard says at the end, you have just a few minutes or whatever after I die to make the right choice. Yeah. So, but throughout, the first time I see Eric look at that light and see a figure or whatever he sees, I think it was then that I went, oh, Eric's going to die. Eric's going to be the one to die.
Oh, okay.
So I knew the four would die, and I believed one of them would die. And I was like, it's gonna be Eric, and then sure enough, it's Eric. But I loved the ending. I mean, it was horrifying. It was very sad. But
Bittersweet.
right, there you go. That's the perfect way to say it. But I did love the scene in the cafe when they went in and they're just everyone's quiet watching the TV. Again, kind of reminded me of Signs. There's a scene in Signs where they're all watching a TV.
It also reminded me of Split.
Yes. Yep. I won't say what part, but yeah. Yes. That's funny. Yeah, he makes a good scene like that. But I just love that moment though, where everything just is done. And I thought that was cool. I thought that was like a good, it just let them know that they made the right choice, even though it was a horrible choice. They saved everybody.
Well, I did appreciate. Again, this was Kristen Cuy's acting, Shyamalan's direction of her. When she's in the treehouse and Andrew comes up,
right,
and the first thing she says is, "Did Daddy Eric save all those people?"
Yes,
like that was her question. Not did he die?
Right.
Not anything negative, but did he, like, that's how she was looking at it, and I love that.
Yeah, I do too. The only thing though is, I mean, once the movie's over and you can kind of think about it, you do kind of sit there and go, well, gosh, I mean, he died either way. If he had just died earlier, everyone that had died from those plagues would still be alive. You know what I mean? Obviously, there would be no story because.
Well, it's also I don't really think that, like, it's true, but
right.
I'm also thinking, like, they didn't believe.
Right. Nope. I agree.
Until that moment, and then both of them fully believed.
Agreed. It was just me in my head going, "Oh man, everyone could have lived."
Now here's my I'm gonna poke a hole in the plot.
Mm-hmm.
But you are a little bit more versed in the Bible than I am. So here's my question for you.
Oh boy.
So in the movie, the story that they give you is that one of the three of them has to choose to sacrifice.
Right.
If not, the four have to sacrifice one of their own, and that will trigger the next step towards the end of the world.
Right.
So what happens if they don't kill one of them? What if nobody makes a choice, and then, like, Redmond's just like, yeah, no, I don't want to die. Never mind.
I don't really know. And they don't really describe that in Revelation. I mean, Revelation is a
yeah, I know, it's
crazy.
A lot more.
It's
a lot more.
It's a crazy book. But I don't know what would happen with this. I feel like this movie, like they whatever entity picked them because they would go through with it.
God.
You know what I mean? God, yes, God. You know what I mean? So, like,
well, that's the thing, and that they were also shown all these visions, but that's the thing, like, none of them just stopped and say, well, if we're triggering the apocalypse, why don't we just not trigger it?
True.
And then we don't have to die.
Right.
we don't have to, like, kill somebody with one of these horrible weapons that we've made.
Right. Gosh, maybe there was some clause in the contract that was like, if you don't do it, apocalypse starts. So, well,
I feel like maybe there was just something that should have been said in the movie, like something that should have been said, why they had to do that. Like, the only thing that Leonard kind of says at the beginning is that if nobody chooses, then the world just ends immediately.
Right.
So I don't know, like, maybe they were triggering steps of the apocalypse to give the three of them time to make a sacrifice. Otherwise, if they didn't, the world would just automatically end.
Maybe. I mean, that makes sense.
But I wish they'd explain that more if that's the case.
I agree. Yeah, that would
I just wanted to hear your take on that.
Yeah, I didn't even really think about that, but it is. I would go with that. Yeah, if they didn't do it, then the world just is done. Game over. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't really know. I don't know.
Okay, so now
Mm-hmm.
everybody listening right now, at this point, I would like to start comparing the book to the movie. And I'd
Yay.
like to start talking about some differences. So if you're out there, if you haven't read the book and you want to read the book and you don't want to know the differences before you read it, this is your warning that you can stop listening now because I'm going to spoil major things, the end of the book, everything.
Nice. Yay, I'm excited, dude.
So here's your warning. Go.
What are you doing with that, Leonard?
When I'm gone, you only have minutes to stop everything. After that, it'll be too late.
Okay, so let's get into that.
Yeah, man.
The main difference
Yes.
between the book and the movie, and this is why I asked you if you believed the horsemen and if you felt danger for the three of them after Redmond died.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing, in the book,
Mm-hmm.
you get to the very last words of the book and you still are wondering if the apocalypse is happening.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It leaves it somewhat ambiguous.
Whoa.
You know, like the floods, just like in the movie, Andrew points out that
Mm.
the first earthquake happened 4 hours earlier.
Right. Right.
And, you know, yeah, so what? They turned on the TV and another earthquake happened. So what? You know,
Right.
they knew the earthquakes were happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then, oh, the sickness happening in China.
Right.
Guess what? That's a pre-recorded program.
Yep.
Andrew's been talking about it for months.
Yep.
You know, and then, yeah, they break the TV in the book too
Mm-hmm.
before, because in the book, only Redmond gets sacrificed by the four.
Really?
Yeah, because when it's almost Adrienne's turn, that's when like they get loose and Eric runs out to the car. Or Andrew runs out to the car. Sorry.
Right. Right. Right.
When all that happens,
Whoa.
okay, but here's the big difference, my friend.
Okay.
Andrew
curious.
runs out to the car.
Uh-huh.
Everything happens with Sabrina, where she comes
Okay.
out and she hits his knee, and then
Mhm.
he gets in the car and she breaks the window and she's stabbing him in the side.
Yeah. Oof, yeah.
Which was, I don't know, to me, it was kind of weird because it was kind of Christ-like,
Mm.
you know, because he got stabbed with the spear in the side.
Yeah, man. There's
Like,
a lot of biblical references, dude.
yeah, I mean, yeah, so it's
for sure.
kind of weird if it's not a reference, but
Right.
so then he goes back in the house and he's holding the gun to Adrienne and Leonard.
Mhm.
And then Leonard bum rushes Andrew and is wrestling the gun,
Mhm.
and the gun goes off and shoots Wynn in the face, and she dies.
What?
Yeah, Wynn dies in the book.
What?
Which
Oh
brings
my
up
gosh.
this whole conflict on whether that was the sacrifice that was needed.
Oh man.
And yeah, and they turn on the TV, and that's when they see the famine and the sickness still
Mhm.
happening and things going on, and Leonard basically says, you know, yeah, it wasn't enough because you guys didn't choose.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, there's a whole thing.
Oh
And
my gosh. I'm like speechless. Whoa.
and then so and I'm drawing a blank here. I can't remember how she dies, but Adrienne dies.
Okay.
Leonard dies. Sabrina is left alive, and she walks them down. They pick up Wynn in a blanket, and they're walking her down towards the truck
Mhm.
that they left. And Sabrina goes with them because she knows where they hid the key. And after she gets the key, she pulls out, like, she there's a box or something, and she pulls out a gun and she shoots herself.
Oh my
So
gosh.
all 4 horsemen die, and then at the very end, it's Andrew and Eric carrying Wynn, and there is a storm happening.
Yeah. Yep.
And the sky is getting darker.
Okay.
And they're walking down the road, just thinking whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
Whoa.
So you kind of get the idea that yes, the apocalypse is now happening.
Right. Okay.
But it's not made super clear. So maybe it's not, maybe it is.
Wow. Way different. Whoa.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I think there is one more newscast before they break the TV where they see the planes falling. But here's the thing. In the novel, see, that was one of the things. Okay, so when I saw the movie, I totally didn't even remember a 4 horsemen reference in the book.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I was very curious to reread the book to see if that reference was there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's there.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Like they beat you over the head with it. And like it's not just 7 knocks at the cabin.
Yeah.
When makes a comment that she caught 7 grasshoppers.
Oh, funny. Okay.
When the planes are crashing, for sure. When the planes are crashing, the newscast says that 7 planes have crashed.
Funny. Okay.
And in the movie, they say 700.
Yes,
so
I remember that.
The word 7 is still in there. But the number 7 is brought up a few times, and then Andrew, I think, is the one that brings up the whole 4 horsemen comparison.
All right.
But yeah, and here's the thing: when I first read the book the first time, it wasn't as clear that they weren't going to hurt the 3 of them.
Interesting,
to me, at least to me.
Uh-huh.
After I saw the movie and I read the book again, and I was picturing the movie, I obviously didn't feel the danger, but
fair. Yeah.
I didn't feel, I felt danger. I felt scared the entire book because I didn't know what these 4 were going to do next.
Right.
Even after they killed Redmond, like, what are they going to do next? Are they just going to kill themselves, or are they going to actually end up hurting them?
Jeez Louise, man.
Because I think there were a couple threats, like, you can't leave the cabin. We will stop you from leaving. We will shoot your leg or something,
He does say that. Yeah, Leonard even says that in the movie. He's like, I don't want to do anything, but I will shoot you in the leg. And that's when I was like, ooh.
Yeah. Leonard is big in the book, but he's also like a 25-year-old college student or a 23-year-old college student.
What?
Yeah, he's not as old as Dave Bautista.
So he's not a teacher then?
He's not a teacher. He's a student.
Okay. Interesting.
So that's another thing. Like, he's described as a big guy, and he's
right.
If you picture somebody like Dave Bautista's character, that kind of influences how you picture him in the book.
Uh-huh.
But if you haven't seen the movie, you're just picturing this big guy who you don't know what he's going to do.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah.
Does the book start the same way too, with Wynn and Leonard talking? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And the dialogue is almost exactly verbatim.
Wow, dude.
It's insane how verbatim a lot of the dialogue is.
That's crazy. The book is crazy. Whoa. I'm seriously shocked at how Wynn, like, that's so sad.
It's heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking.
Oh my gosh.
But it adds something to the book, I don't like Wynn dying, but it adds this whole thing. Also, like in the book, Eric's injury to his head is way more, it feels way more severe.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah, like he's like going downhill, and there's a whole thing where they're all at night and they're all sleeping, and that's when Andrew is talking to Eric and all this stuff. Like the book does take a little bit longer to tell its story.
Gotcha.
I guess. But yeah,
So does Eric in the book, does he see that figure?
Yeah,
or whatever? That all is true too. Okay.
And I was really, that's one thing I was a little bit disappointed in the movie, because I thought maybe the second time I watched the movie, I'd be able to see a figure.
Yeah, you
in
don't.
The mirror, and there's not. It's just a bright light, and you just have to trust that that's what he saw.
So I guess my question then to you, because A lot of it's the same, but those are some drastic changes. Were you okay with it? Were you? What were your thoughts?
My
I guess?
initial reaction, my initial thoughts were that I like the ending of the book better
Okay.
because I like ambiguity. I like when something's bleak.
Right.
It makes me feel something more.
I get you. Yeah.
But I was okay with them not killing Wynn.
Yeah.
That would have been like in the book. It's heartbreaking, but especially as good as Kristen Cui was as Wynn, like that would have been depressing.
Gosh.
So I'm glad that they didn't kill her in the movie.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I would have liked to have had a more ambiguous ending.
Yeah.
But see, in the book, like lightning isn't striking in the forest around them or anything.
Okay. Yeah. That one. Yeah.
It's just like a normal thunderstorm. It's not like, it doesn't feel like the fingers of God, you know?
Right. That's interesting then. So the book really is, I like that idea of like, because the movie does make it clear. I mean, it feels like it, like, hey, this is the apocalypse. You stopped it. But I like that idea in the book of like, it might not be. These might just be 4 crazy people. You know?
Yeah.
I think that's,
and it might just
like
be a
that.
coincidence that this storm is about to happen. And that when they turned on the TV, some planes crashed.
Right. Yep.
And it leaves
like
it up
that
to the
idea.
audience. It leaves it up to you to like, what do you think? You know?
Right.
And
I
do
like that.
I like endings like that.
Yeah. I usually, you know me, and ambiguity, but I do like
Yeah.
that. I think that's kind
But
of
see,
an awesome ending.
but there you go. It's one thing I thought of when I saw the movie.
Yeah.
Is I love when you and I have different views on the ending of a movie that's somewhat ambiguous.
Right.
Like you may see it one way,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not going to name any movies because then that would kind of give away endings. But
Right.
There's a certain movie that I'm thinking of right now that you and I saw the ending 2 different ways.
Man, we'll have to talk
And
after this.
yeah, we'll talk after.
Yeah.
But and everybody else, you can just go back and listen to all our episodes until you find the movie I'm talking about.
Do it.
But yeah, I kind of dig that, and I love.
Yeah.
See, here's another thing. Even with this movie, a friend of mine at work, I was talking to him about it, and he's got some really cool outlooks on movies.
Cool.
And when we talked about the ending of this movie, I was like, this movie, you know, it had a happy ending. And he's like, well, did it though? He's like, I know they stopped the apocalypse, but the thing I took away was that they stopped the apocalypse, but was it worth it for a God that would do this? You know, and he was like, he got into that part of it. Like,
whoa, yeah.
Like, this is a cruel God that would make these people do this, that would put these people through this to make this awful choice.
Right.
And
well, and even
like,
go ahead. Sorry.
Because that's what he was saying. The movie, if you take the movie at face value, the movie is saying that God exists.
Right. Yeah.
Because this was the apocalypse.
Right. Exactly.
So,
well, and I even thought, sorry.
No,
I even
was just gonna say, is this a God worth dying for? But go ahead.
No, I thought it was kind of a bleak ending too. I mean, it was a happy ending, but I even thought, like, how do you explain that? Because, you know, if someone goes to their house and sees these 4 dead bodies, and then also he shot his husband.
It burned up. Remember?
Oh, that's right.
The lightning struck the cabin and burned up the cabin.
That's right. But still, I mean, yeah.
I mean, there's still some hints.
Right. Yeah. But
like,
it's just
whose truck are you driving?
Yeah, right. And if they do find his husband's body with a bullet
it's okay.
hole,
We stopped the apocalypse. It's all good.
Yeah, we're good. We did it. You're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't think too far ahead.
Yeah, you're right. I know.
But I think that's why Shyamalan had the lightning strike the cabin and burn it.
I think that was
hide the evidence.
Probably smart.
But yeah, they are driving Redmond's truck, and it's got all the 4's like belongings in the back of it. So
yeah. So my other question then is, Redmond, was he also in the book? Was he also the one that hit, or is that ambiguous too?
It's ambiguous.
Oh my gosh.
See, and I like that better too, because in the movie, he definitely they look at the license,
and
in the book, Andrew is like, I'm sure it was him, and Eric's like, I don't know if it was him, and see, that was the whole thing. Like, that was awesome too. You get the feeling that maybe it was, but maybe it wasn't.
I like
and
that.
then everything with Eric and his, because he does believe more in God and everything in the book, but he's also his concussion is more severe in the book.
Right.
So did he see a figure, or was it his concussion?
Oh man, that's interesting.
Yeah, the book is better in my opinion.
All right. I do want to read it. I mean, these differences they're drastic. But
it's still a good read,
for sure. Oh yeah.
Let's put it this way. After I watched the movie, I was like, I don't know that I want to read the entire book again. So let me look up Wikipedia and look at the plot, and then I was like, oh my God, that's right. Wynn died in the book. I remembered the ending, but I was like, Wynn died. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? I do want to read this book.
Nice.
And I want to do it for the podcast. So
look at you. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I do want to read it though. I mean, like I said, I love the movie, and the book sounds way different, but also still, I'm excited. I do want to read it. Yeah. I really do. Yeah.
Another thing, and I thought this was a good touch in the book, is that the book is a little bit scarier in places. And one thing they do is they take Redmond and they put him on the back patio. And in the book, the chairs that Eric and Andrew are in are facing away from the front door, and they're facing towards the back. So the back deck that they were on, sunbathing at the beginning of the movie.
Right. Oh yeah. Yep.
So they can see the shape of, Redmond's wrapped in a blanket.
Okay.
But they can see the shape there. Also, the deaths in the book are way more brutal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would have liked Shyamalan to have gone a little bit further with the deaths.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just like 2 axes in the head and then Redmond just drops. No, it was like they whacked him in the head with a blunt thing, and Redmond starts screaming because he's in pain and it hurts. And they keep hitting him over the head, but he's not dead yet. And then Leonard comes up with a giant sledge hammer in tool, and just caves in Redmond's chest and kills him away.
Gosh.
So yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I will say the one thing about this movie, because it's R. It was rated R.
It was still rated R.
I really didn't think it was. I mean, maybe I don't even know how many F-bombs were dropped. It must have been more than 2. But even because then it's an R. But even the violence wasn't. You don't see it for the most part. You see.
I think you see enough of it though.
I suppose it just you never see their face. Obviously Redmond has his hood on, and then it goes from the back behind him, and then you just see blood drop. And same with Leonard when he cuts his throat, you just see his chest and then the blood go down. So you don't necessarily see it. So for me, I was like, I don't know if I'd rate this an R. I would say PG-13, but I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, I don't know.
It just didn't seem
maybe it did have more than one F-bomb, because I think with the MPAA or whoever they are, if you say the F word more than once in a movie, that's a R rating.
Is it more than once? I couldn't remember if it was once or twice.
You can you're only allowed one.
I did love Lin-Manuel Miranda said that once, where the only way he could get Disney or Hamilton on Disney, he's like, I had to give 2 Fs to Disney. And I was like, that's funny.
That's true.
Yeah.
So back to the movie, I also wanted to give a shout out. Number one, the cinematography was amazing.
Yep.
And when I looked up who did it, I understood completely. So the main cinematographer is, and I'm probably saying this wrong, but it's Jarin Blaschke. And he is Robert Eggers' cinematographer. So he did The Lighthouse and I think The Witch, maybe.
Okay. Very
Um,
cool.
The Northman. Yeah, he did all of Eggers' movies. The Lighthouse, The Witch,
Cool.
and The Northman.
Nice. Yeah, this was a beautifully shot movie.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then Herdís Stefánsdóttir.
Wow, right on, dude.
I tried. She did the score, the music, and I thought the
Oh,
music was
nice.
great.
I agree. Yep, it had a nice. How would I describe it? It gave you a certain feeling in each scene of a bit
Yeah.
of uneasiness. You know what I mean? It was still pretty, but there was still a moment while listening that you're like, something's off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, that's awesome. She's great.
Are you ready for 3 questions?
I think so.
All right.
Who would cross the bridge of death must answer me these questions 3.
Then let's do it. Andrew,
Yes.
question number 1.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think was the best?
Beth.
Oh my gosh. Andrew, what did you think was the best kill or death in this movie?
So I'm stuck between 2.
Okay.
So part of me wants to ask you first because I don't
Oh.
want to say 2. I want to hear yours, and then I will explain mine. So I'm gonna have you answer that one if you don't mind.
I'm gonna go with Redman just because he was the one. Like Dave Bautista had a good poignant death at the end.
Yeah.
But Redman's was just so, if you're not expecting it,
Right.
it's just such a gruesome kill, and they showed more of it than they showed with Adrienne. Like with Adrienne,
sure.
you see what's about to happen, but then Shyamalan takes the camera outside of the cabin and you hear the sound effects.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go back inside to them cleaning her up. And I'm like,
Right.
Like, I get you're trying to do suspense here, but like, show it. Like,
Right.
terrify us.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I think Redman's death. What about you?
Me too. So Redman was my one because again, if you don't expect it, like when you see it, you're just like, holy crap, this is not what I was expecting. But my other one, we don't necessarily see it, but I almost put Eric, just not as a favorite, but as the hero sacrifice is always
The hero sacrifice.
It gets me. So
I am going to change mine. There's a lady sitting in row 11B in the first airplane that crashes. You don't see her.
But she had what a personality this lady had.
Wow. The life she led before that plane crashed. Okay. Did you think this movie was scary?
I could see how people would. I mean, it's a home invasion story. So I get it. I can get why people would think. I wasn't scared. I was more intrigued. So I wasn't sitting there like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? I was like, what's gonna happen? I'm excited about this. So I wasn't scared.
I'm excited.
Yeah, maybe that's not the right word, but I was anxious. I don't know. I wasn't scared though. I don't think so. What about you?
Well, that's interesting. No, I wasn't at all because I knew. Like I said, I'd read the book, so it was almost like seeing the story for the second time.
Were you nervous when you're reading the book though? Were you like,
yes,
this is okay.
The book had me tense throughout the entire thing.
All right.
And I don't know how the movie could have done that better because, like I said, when I reread the book, I got it. I was like, I know who these people are now. I know they're not going to hurt Eric and Andrew and win on purpose. But I just remember the first time reading the book, not knowing. Like in my imagination, I didn't know whether they were or not. And maybe it was just my take on the book. Yeah, so for that reason, the movie didn't scare me.
Fair.
And the end of the world didn't scare me either, so I don't know.
Good.
Question number 3. Did you have fun with horror?
I had a great time with horror. I thought this movie was excellent.
More importantly, what did Kylie think?
Kylie really liked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about that.
No, she really liked it. However, this one I don't think is like super scary. And I think for her, because we were like, I'm gonna watch it with mommy now, or we're gonna watch it, and she was like, hey, we just watched it, I'm good. So I think it was like, okay, I get it,
Well, how often does she watch movies more than once, though?
Right, that's true.
So
not often. So, but yeah, she liked it. Yeah, we
Good,
both left the
good.
theater and went, that was great.
I liked it too. For what it was, I liked it,
Nice.
and rewatching it was another great time. So I can accept the differences. I
Mhm.
can accept that I think the book is a better story,
Mhm.
better told, but I can also accept the changes that they made for the movie and appreciate the movie for what it was.
Nice.
I
Love
liked
that.
it.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's Knock at the Cabin. And I'm trying not to sneeze. So all right.
The four of us are here to prevent the apocalypse. We, and when I say we, I mean everyone in this cabin, can stop it from happening, but only with your help. Ultimately, whether the world ends or not, is completely up to you three.
You are having a psychological break of some kind.
Well, my friend, that was my movie, which means we get to hear your movie. I'm excited. I want to hear what you have picked for us, because I have a feeling I might know, but I'm excited.
Well, little background, a
Yeah.
little fun with horror behind the scenes.
Uh-huh.
I think there was a movie that you were prepared to choose
Yep.
that you hinted at, and
Yep.
you were maybe going to pick it, but
Yep.
then you suddenly saw Knock at the Cabin in the
Yes.
theaters and were like, nope, this is my next movie.
Correct.
So I thought I would do you a solid, since I've never seen it, and pick the movie that I think you were going to pick.
Yeah.
So our next movie is Brandon Cronenberg's Infinity Pool.
Yep, that's the one.
Yep. Starring Alexander Skarsgård and the wonderful, amazing Mia Goth.
I know, man. I'm excited. I feel like, gosh, Mia Goth and Jenna Ortega are like kind of killing it in the you're kidding. You're kitties.
Yeah. Ziggy the Horror Cat is
baby.
going crazy, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Andrew gets to watch him.
I do. I know it's nice that we have cameras now. But yeah, Mia Goth and
Jenna Ortega.
I just feel like are killing it right now in everything, but also the horror genre. And I'm all about it, man. I'm excited.
Now, this is going to be a weird movie, from what
Yeah.
I've heard.
I've heard the same.
A little bit bonkers.
Yeah.
Now, another thing, here's the interesting thing. This movie is basically only available for purchase or rental. Okay, from the normal places. iTunes, Prime Video. However, and this is a little gripe I have. It was just announced. I bought the movie. Okay, I bought the VOD. I have it ready. On iTunes.
Right.
And then, not too long after I did that, it was announced that Neon Cinema, the distributor of this movie, I guess, you can rent the uncut version of this movie on their website.
Whoa.
For $10. So it's like, normally they would just add the uncut version to iTunes or whatever, but I'm like, come on, guys. Like, I already bought the movie and now I have to like buy it again or purchase it if I want to watch the uncut version.
That's weird. I don't like that.
I don't like it, Andrew.
I'm ticked. Well, I wonder, like, so can you, like, forever, the only way you can buy it is through their site?
I don't know about forever.
Okay.
I'm thinking probably when the movie has normal, like, official release.
Right. Yeah.
And like all the extra features appear on my digital purchase, that the uncut version will be there too.
Good. Okay. I hope so.
But it would be nice if I had it now for our podcast.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I have a feeling this one's going to be it's going to be weird, but I have a feeling we're going to see some crazy stuff too. So I'm curious what the unrated one is going to be.
I've heard some rumors of the unrated, and
I know. Yeah, I heard one thing where I was like, "Oh boy, this is gonna be a trip of a movie."
We'll see.
I'm excited though. I think it's gonna be a trip, dude.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'll do. I'm definitely gonna watch the normal version on iTunes,
Yeah. All right.
but I undecided whether I'll rent the uncut version just to watch it,
Yeah.
just to
Right on.
compare.
Yeah.
But anyway,
All right.
buddy, that's about it. Infinity Pool.
All right. Yay. I am very interested in this one, so I'm excited about what our talk will bring.
What our taco bring?
Taco Bring, yeah. Have you not been to Taco Bell lately? The new Taco Bring?
Taco bring.
Yeah, it's delicious.
I have a taco bring every day. Oh, buddy, I love you and your red beard.
I love you and your red shirt.
Thank you for talking to me about Knock at the Cabin, my friend.
Yeah. Thank you for talking to me about let me make sure it's about The Cabin at the End of the World,
Hey.
a novel
My pleasure. By Paul Tremblay.
by Paul Tremblay. Let's one more time. Paul Tremblay.
Paul Tremblay. We love you, Paul.
We love you, Paul. I haven't read your book yet, but I already love you.
And everybody out there, we love you.
Yes. We love
If
you
you
all.
feel like it, if you feel like some kindness in your heart, go give us a nice review on iTunes.
Yeah. We like that.
And also join our Facebook group if you haven't. It's great. We love it.
It's fun, man. We get super fun things posted or comments. It's awesome. It's really fun.
we share all the nice the fun horror news.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
just fun with horror podcast.
Yeah.
On
Join us.
Facebook. Join us.
All are welcome.
Anyway, we love you, everybody. Thank you for listening.
Yes,
And,
thank you. Love you.
Join us next time for Infinity Pool.
Woohoo.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
First, the cities will drown. The oceans will swell and rise up into a great fist and pound all the buildings and people into the sand and drag everything out to sea.
There is something wrong with you. With all of you, if you believe this.
Then a terrible plague will descend, and people will writhe with fever and mucus will fill their lungs.
This is psychotic. It's delusional. Did you try to get help? Let us go, and we'll get you help.
The skies will fall and crash to the earth like pieces of glass, and God's fingers will scorch the earth, and an everlasting darkness will descend over humanity.
You need help.